what if you feel like you don't have the brain capacity for like learning these documents? Like, what if you feel like I can't learn these 200 plus pages?
Okay, so I'll talk about that.
Yeah.
There's a book. I meant to bring it. I thought about it on the way, and I have it. I don't reference it because I know the work, so that's probably why I forgot about the book. But honestly, after you do so many, like 5, you burn like, yeah. So you're not remembering word from word. You are giving them a high level of what that document is. First of all, well, unless it's a buyer's package, you know, they're going to be not as familiar with some of the documents. But we don't work for the title company. We don't work for the loan signing company. We are vendors. We're third parties. So it is their job to educate their client. The realtor, the escrow officer, your loan officer rather, they're supposed to be educating their clients. Sometimes I get the clients and like, oh, my loan officer went over everything. I understand. Other times, this is their first time seeing the paperwork. They don't even, you may be there longer, I would say, because they haven't seen the paperwork yet. So this is also in my confirmation text. Hi, did you receive your final documents, your closing disclosure, your settlement statement? Because you don't want to get there and they haven't seen anything, and you get there and their name is spelled wrong, or their closing cost is wrong. So those are the questions that I ask before I get there. If you don't understand the paperwork that you are presenting to your client, you can, before you go out or after you've done with your commission, you can also reach out to me and we can go over, we can do a Zoom, we can do a one-on-one over the phone, we can go over some of the docs, but you are pretty much reading and giving them a high level. It can be, one document can be 2 pages, one document can be 18 pages. You're not reading those pages verbatim. You are giving a high level overview of what this document is and why they're signing it. After you do, let's just say 10 closings, I would say you should be familiar. Everybody's learning curve is different, but I think I learned mine quicker because I was in the midst of COVID and I was doing 60 to 100 closings a month, to the point where you ain't had no choice but to know what those documents were. Once you print the documents, if you have time to go out before your client, read the document and determine how you want to present it. For example, for the note at the top, it says promissory note. I say, this is your promise to pay back your loan. And I go over the main points of that document. Here is your loan amount. Here is your interest rate. Does that look right? Yes or no? Here is your first payment date. Here's your last payment date. And then page 2 and 3 talks about your late fees. What happens if you go in defaults? Is there any prepayment penalties? And then the signature page may or may not have the date. So that's one more thing. This is a little off topic, but you want to pay attention to your documents. Some want a date, some don't. One lender may want a date, one may not. So you have to be very particular, precise, and efficient on watching those signature lines and dates. A lot of the documents don't require a date. They don't want a date on purpose, and sometimes they may ask you to go back out and sign that document over because you added the date. So you want to be as efficient as possible and don't make those mistakes. And sometimes they may not send you back out. Guess what? They may not use you again. And you may not know why. So again, I want you all to learn from my mistakes and be efficient and learn from my mistakes, and you can't be lazy because it will catch up with you. And also you want to just be as, again, precise. You want to plan, you want to pay attention and make sure that you're doing exactly what they are offering. But overall, if you don't know the paperwork, I would say take time to pre-read it before you go out. I would say take time to schedule a one-on-one with me and do a mock signing directly with me. Let me hear how you sound. Let me hear if you're giving them too much. Let me hear if you're spending too much time on a document, because honestly, I can do a real estate refinance. I don't care if it's 150 pages or 200. I can be in and out your house in 25 to 30 minutes, sometimes 15 minutes. A lot of it has to do with how well you're educated on the documents, but how well your client is educated on the documents. If they're kind of familiar with the documents, they're going to be like, okay, sign, sign, sign. Others are going to be like, oh, I never seen this. Oh, what's this? Let me read it. So it will vary, but on record, I'm usually never in someone's house longer than 30 minutes. If I am, that's because we got a reader in our hands or we had to make calls to title or to the attorney office or the lender for some reason. So a lot of people, they don't understand sometimes why my one-on-ones, why is it so much? Because I'm teaching you what I've learned in a very short period of time. Your turnaround time is going to be much better than mine because of all that I'm giving you is full of value. The things that I'm teaching you, I had to learn on my own by making errors and mistakes, and I'm trying to help you prevent those. So you're getting all the gems, and guess what? You should be able to make that back in 1 to 2 closing at the most.